Alright, guys. So, this is another fanfiction idea, and this is actually a sequel to one I did not too long ago. In fact, I think it was less than a week ago. So this is, you can see, Code Lyoko Ninja Turtles 2. So this is, like I said, a sequel to that story, where in that story, what happened was the Turtles discovered a supercomputer that was a prototype for the one we have in Code Lyoko. And in there, X.A.N.A unleashed Xanified Mausers on the teams, and the two groups left as friends after encountering each other as enemies. So, in this story, X.A.N.A is now curious. X.A.N.A got real curious because as he was digging through the Mausers and taking over Baxter Stockman in the previous story, what had happened was that he got interested in one thing. He got really interested as he dug through the mind of Baxter Stockman, is that he saw the Technodrome. He saw the Technodrome and its capabilities. So, X.A.N.A first tries to break into the Technodrome, but the thing is, it's more advanced than him, and it actually boots him out. It actually, like, Krang is like, well, that was weird. There's some kind of unknown force trying to break into my Technodrome. What the fuck? So, the Technodrome's security defenses, due to its alien in nature, and considering X.A.N.A's never really taken over alien technology, X.A.N.A is actually pushed out of the Technodrome the first time around, and he's like, that's new. However, in doing so, he has to retreat back to Lyoko in order to gain a little more strength before, trying this again. But X.A.N.A does want the Technodrome. Now that he knows what it's capable of, he wants the Technodrome, and he intends to use it for his own ends. He intends to use it because he sees that it's a power unlike anything he's encountered on Earth. So in doing so, however, Krang, furious that something tried to attack his precious Technodrome, contacts Shredder and orders him and the Foot Clan to come to him. And Shredder's like, you don't order me. We work together, but you do not order me. So the Shredder and the Foot Clan arrive with Bebop and Rocksteady in tow. And Krang basically explains, also, if you're wondering, this is the 80s cartoon, this is not the 80s cartoon, this is kind of like its own nebulous continuity. I should have mentioned that, because I was like, oh, I better preference that this is not the 80s cartoon, because I was using a lot of 80s stuff. But Krang basically explains to Shredder, we got a problem. Someone tried to break into the Technodrome. Someone tried to use some kind of, I don't know, system or program to break into the Technodrome. Our security systems managed to push it out, but I'm worried it's going to happen again. So I'm going to need you and the Foot Clan to find whoever sent this and take them out. Like, we cannot afford, because I'm afraid if it does it again, we're in for some serious shit. So Shredder's like, okay, even if I wanted to help, where would I go? Like, where would you want me to go? And Krang's like, glad you asked, because I discovered where it is. I discovered, I've been tracing the digital trail our little friend left behind, and have basically discovered that it's somewhere in Paris. We've traced the signal to somewhere in Paris, particularly this little school in near Paris, this little place called Academy. And Shredder's like, you want me to go all the way to Paris because you think some child got into your system? He's like, I don't think it's a child. I think it might be something more. Go there, because if they take the Technodrome, I can't get back home, and you lose an edge over the Turtles. Remember that. You lose an edge over Hamato Yoshi and his sons. So I'd suggest you keep doing it. You get to it. So he's like, look, I have a better option. So Shredder contacts the Foot chapter in Paris. Yeah, there's a Foot Clan in Paris. He contacts them, and he's like, I need you to do me a solid. As the leader of the Foot Clan, I order you to go to this school, figure out what's going on, and report back to me. You know, so Foot Ninjas are sent, and they basically do some recon, and they do follow Ulrich, Odd, and Yumi and the others to the factory, and they discover the supercomputer and send reports back. Now they don't know. Now Shredder and Krang don't know that. What Shredder and Krang don't know that X.A.N.A was the one behind it. They think it was Jeremy and the supercomputer who tried to break into the controls, into the Technodrome's controls. So Shredder's like, so Krang is like, this boy must be a genius but that supercomputer has all this power. I'm trying to do a Krang voice. It's too late, and I can never do it, so I'm not going to try that again. So he's like, Shredder, go there. Let's go and go get it. Let's go get this supercomputer. Let's go get this kid, and if they don't want to join us, we'll kill him. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm not leaving New York. The brothers, Hamato Yoshi's sons are here, and he and his sons are here. I am not just going to just sit, just up and leave because you asked. So while this is all going on, there's some recon going on with the Turtles who have heard all of this. They've heard, they've basically heard all of this, and they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta call Jeremy and the others." So what happens is, they're trying to figure out, like, how do we reach them? It's like Mikey's like, "Well, we could always use call collect," and Donnie goes, "Better idea." So it turns out that Donnie's, after they shut off the supercomputer in New York, the one they found in the sewers, Donnie's been more or less been fucking around with it, and it can now open a channel to Jeremy and Paris. So that's what they do. So Donatello and the Turtles send a message to Jeremy saying, "Guys, you gotta run. Shredder is coming for you." And they're like, "Who's Shredder?" And he's like, "The last guy you want to fuck with." So Shredder arrives in Paris, and they are, more or less, Shredder along with Bebop and Rocksteady hook up with the Paris clan of the Foot Clan. And yeah, so meanwhile the Ninja Turtles like, we could go, how do we get to you? We'll help you if you can teleport us there. So what happens is Jeremy uses the supercomputer to teleport the Ninja Turtles from New York to Paris, back to the factory. So now the Turtles are in Paris. And unfortunately, while this is happening, Yumi gets a call from her father saying, "Hey, I'm going to be working late. I'm going to be meeting with some business associates tonight." So, if you haven't figured out, yeah, Yumi's dad is not a member of the Foot Clan, but he works for the Foot Clan. He's like their accountant. He's basically their business accountant. And the Ishiyama family is indebted to the Foot Clan. So Shredder came by, he's like asking around, and he's like, I've heard some very distressing things regarding your daughter. It'd be a real shame if I found out that there had been a traitor among our clan. He's like, no, Master Shredder. Our daughter is, she's strong-willed, but she doesn't know about anything like this. And he's like, really? You'd best keep an eye on your child, Ishiyama. It would be a shame if something happened to them. So Shredder leaves, and he plans to launch an attack on the factory. And that's when he realizes it's not just the Lyoko warriors who are there; it's the Ninja Turtles. And he's like, "You sons of bitches! You came all this way. I don't know how you got to Paris, but I'm going to destroy all of you." So fight breaks out. While this is going on, Xana's like, "Oh, everyone's killing each other. I know what I'm doing." So X.A.N.A literally goes back and attacks the Technodrome. This time he comes better prepared, and this time he takes over the Technodrome. So in doing so, he now had, with the Technodrome under his control, he starts opening up reality. He starts opening up and unwinding realities, and more or less what he plans to do is like kind of rewrite the multiverse and create it of one of binary and order. So this, of course, leads everyone to team up to battle Techno-X.A.N.A, or the Xanadrome. There you go, the Xanadrome. And eventually the battle does go on, and like have some fun multiverse hijinks, like the Garage Kids short show up, the other turtles show up. It's just all around just multiverse of madness at this point, until eventually they unleash a return to the past, stop X.A.N.A, and keep him from taking the Technodrome, and everything gets right as rain. Yeah. So there you go, guys. So there you go. Code Lyoko, Ninja Turtles 2. So once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.